Good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lago Maggiore, the Italian fictional track for round 3 of SRL's Mazda GT Sport League. Now, for the first time here, we're seeing a rolling start because, of course, we had the issues with the standing start stuck player glitch. So, it would be off the line in P4, championship rival directly in front of me, Dynamite. It's also Fubbles in second and Stingray with another pole. The aforementioned Fubbles would go wide on the opening lap and allow us through into P3, and had a good run here on Dynamite too. And there was space down the inside. He does turn across us though, causes the contact. So that's something to keep in mind. Later on, Fubbles doesn't let us get after Stingray, unfortunately. Really forcing a battle, and Stingray was just reaping the rewards by driving away at this stage, which wasn't ideal for anyone involved in the battle for P2, although we managed to somehow stick with him until there was some heavy contact here at the hairpin from Fubbles, and I just about regained control in time for Dynamite to come through, and he would take the position here, but not content to just get through, he would barge us off into the grass and in the wall, and would escape penalty for that, I believe. Now a further contact here from Fubbles. He doesn't get through though, although we somehow have a slowdown penalty for their indiscretions. And talking of indiscretions, off the track there from Dynamite. And once again he's off the track, we go to the inside, he blocks just in time I get out of the way. Drive around the outside. Didn't appear he was too content with being overtaken though, so he rams us here, off the track completely. Thankfully we don't lose the position to him. Anyway, we're into the pits at the end of that lap, as were the rest of the top 4, and indeed 5 actually as well, with Murph joining us. I went for a short stop and it rewarded me with the lead as we exit here. However, I'd be needing to do a longer stop next time in this 2-stop race, and I was in fact running lean mix 3 I believe for much of the race, trying to keep these guys behind whilst conserving some fuel so my last stop wouldn't be too long. And I had Stingray all over me, and he went around the outside at turn 1 and then forced me really wide at turn 2, which wasn't very nice, but I still had the inside line for turn 3 and would maintain the lead on this occasion. However, there was some heavy contact throughout the defensive period, including this one at turn 1, forced wide. I give him a bit of it back, seeing as this is touring car racing or GT racing as opposed to F1 racing, and apparently that's fine, judging by what's been happening in this race so far. Further contact, and he's through this time. And to complete the move, he drives completely off track and maintains the position, in fact defending quite hard, clearly without intention of readdressing. And so we have a look to the outside. Let's see what happens here. Probably only going to go one way. And yeah, forced wide, and Dynamite is through into P2 with a bit more contact, and we still have Fubbles behind us. Went for a late move on Dynamite, but even later it was his block which came in the braking zone. Once again, not sure how legal that is, and that was interesting. Perhaps some lag involved, although he's definitely forcing us wide, and has done so again. Fubbles now on our left, and there's plenty of space on his left, but still manages to turn across me and take himself out, and I get a 2-second penalty for that. There's another last minute block from Dynamite, and indeed putting himself offline, and then forces me wide to keep the position despite his own mistake. So now I'm trying to get the position back from Dynamite. Great run through here. Unfortunately, he forces me off the track onto the curb, and of course I understeer into him. I don't know what else he expected to happen there when you force a car off track. That left Fubbles with a great run, and he would pass both of us into the next braking zone. Somehow the stewards post-race arrived at giving me 17 seconds of penalties for the stuff in this race. None to Fubbles, 5 to Stingray and Dynamite each. Really not sure how they arrived at that. In fact, I inquired on why one of the penalties was applied, even though there was no specific reason given, and they have not replied. Moving on, we'll make our second pit stop. It would be a bit longer this time, unfortunately, and that really meant I dropped away from the leading pack, including Stingray, who went on to record victory, I believe, unless the penalty that applies to him means Fubbles wins. Still waiting to see what the jurisdiction is on that. Murph had to pit after us. My teammate, of course, who would let us through there for P3, and that was just a battle between Dynamite and I. And what did you know, he forces us off the track and takes the net championship lead, of course, because we are equal on 57 after a first and a second each in the first 2 rounds. I have some really good momentum here, so he of course defends. That was a fair move. And around the outside we try, bit of contact, can't quite do it. So I go for the inside at the next turn and he turns across me completely. Now, firstly, I didn't actually touch him. Let's have a look in slow motion. Clear lag bubble. And secondly, even if I did touch him, he's turning across me. My nose is already there, he wouldn't have left any space. And that was 10 seconds worth of penalties from the stewards. Incredibly unprofessional and blatantly incorrect stewarding. I really wouldn't recommend the site if that's gonna stick. Anyhow, across the line we came for 3rd. I'm not sure whether that will remain the case. Either way, I've been Jacko. I look forward to Suzuka next week, and perhaps a bit less of a hard-hitting battle, let's say. See you then.